I won't sound nasal. Yeah, so good to see you again. You can see the number is not too big. Plus minus, we'll take it like that because COVID doesn't even like numbers. So, courtesy technology, some are watching us via Zoom, and we'll make sure we spread the information on various platforms, whether it's YouTube, whether it's on WhatsApp or whatever. We'll use the standard platforms to send our messages across. We've done this for about the fourth time. Remember the president said that we should be doing this often so that we get to mold our industry by discussing and then learning before our bill is passed. And so those of you who come here, this is about the fourth or the fifth time. Today we are going to talk about, unfortunately, those who made noise about, they don't know about how the industry runs, the structure and all. I expected them to be here. Unfortunately, none of them is here. Those who are here, I know most of you. Okay. I know most of you who have fought, like Mrs. Hobson, my girlfriend. Your husband is watching us. Kofi, Daddy Bosco, Jesua is also a veteran. Peter, Ken Fiati, that about cry for saying. Yes, I mean, oh, yeah, no, do it. Fifi Coleman. Fifi, I call him that about. Fifi, somebody is your old member. We are with you all the time. Fifi, thank you for coming. I think this is your first one. Yes. So you see, I keep records. Yeah, Peter too, yes, that's your first time. So we are going to talk a little about the structure. Then you can also make inputs, whether it helps or it will not help. So I don't see it as it is us talking to you. I see it as a discussion that we are all going to have. Then we have Spikey. It's an IT guru or IT mogul. So I call him Steve Jobs as the owner of Apple. He also educates us on some of the advantages we can take around this time, virtually or digitally. So Frank, let's go to, I'll just touch on the structure. Ideally, Creative Arts Council, if we get our law, we are supposed to sit on top. If I say if we get our law, the meaning is that the Creative Art Bill is not passed. So at the moment, we are working with just some executive power. Executive power meaning the president has just given us power to operate in his powers. And that is why we are here. That's why we are relevant and we are doing what we are doing. But if we're able to pass the law, what is going to happen is that we're going to become an agency that is going to have regional offices, district offices, just like some people use agency interchangeably with authority. So we can become like a GTA, but we are using agency instead of authority. So government will recruit people for us. It will not be just a few of us that you see at the moment. It's going to be a big structure. Parliament will pass the bill plus budget every year. When they read the budget, then you can hear Creative Arts gets this. Then President will also give us our Creative Arts Fund, where there will be money in there. Those of you who want to do monumental jobs, like shooting a movie on Kwame Nkrumah or Jerry John Rawlings, you can access some of the fund to do high budget or big budget movies. You can use some of them to build the theaters and all of that. For now, we are HIPIC because we don't have the law. And so, you know, the old man is a lawyer too, so he wants to go by the law. Let's get your bill passed, then things can go. Giving ourselves quarter by the end of next quarter. Honorable Bagrotin Jesse wants to use this to look good. So she wants to pass the law so that at least there will be something to her credit that in her time she was able to do this. So that's the agenda. I think we have about offshoots of the creative arts space, or they say we should say creative industries. We have music, film, theater arts, dance, fashion. Some would say that modeling should come under fashion, but the modeling people are also saying that no, fashion is too big to add modeling to it. So they also have their own industry. Sculpture, furniture, basketry, jewelry, graphics. Graphics, what do they for? New media. New media, okay. Textiles, photography, metal art, interior, decoration, publishing, landscape, designs. I didn't even see, okay, so dressmaking, painting, decorating, carpentry, building, construction, that's architecture, welding and fabrication, spraying, draftsmanship. So indirectly, the world is actually driven by creative arts. But what you just saw, almost everything that we do is creative arts. In one of my presentations, I said that it is somebody who decided that he wanted money to be transferred via phones and decided to call it mobile money. The person was creative. There is a science to it. So the creative idea gave birth to it. Then you get technology, which is a science. But at the end of the day, you have to give it to a graphics person to do interface. You have to give it to a creative person to do all the publicity that we are hearing on Momo or whatever, Vodafone cars. So almost everything in life, there is technology met creativity. And that's why we got this. So nothing actually survives without creatives. So we are supposed to be pampered. We are supposed to do our, yes. We are supposed to do our things right so that we can be pampered. I mean doing our things right in the sense that getting the necessary knowledge. Because lack of knowledge, my people perish. You see that, I was telling that the Bosco, some of the artists with gravitas that around this time, you will need them to hear how technology is going to help sell movie, sell music. They are not here. But we are quick to blame government, blame the leaders of ASOC, leaders of GAMRO, Copy Ghana. But what are we also doing to help the leaders of these various associations like Musica and the rest, so that they can also help us? So the structure, we will sit on top as a creative arts agency. It will not be council again. It's going to be an agency. I qualify to lead, I might not qualify to lead. When it gets there, it will be the prerogative of the president. Not the president of Musica, the president of Ghana. Before we get it twisted, yeah, the president of Ghana will, because it's now become a government agency. So he will decide. Then we have music, we have ASOC. Okay, music, film, we have ASOC, we have FIPAC, Actors Guild, GAFTA, FICAG, marketing and distribution, and then women and film. Copy Ghana, because they are not here, it's just music and film that we have here, so we won't touch on Copy Ghana. But these are the collecting societies. How many of us know the collecting societies? Okay, so when we get there, the various owners of the, I hear chairman is coming, Abraham. He will tell us more about GAMRO. If it's not here, I can talk about GAMRO. But I put, you see, I have deepened the collecting societies. And my reason is that almost everyone here owns a right. And if you own a right, you must have an interest in the collecting society. They are the people we have left hanging in there, and that is why to some extent we come across as broke or poor. Because they are supposed to collect our monies for us so that we can have enough to flaunt. But because of the situation, the laws are there, but people are not paying. So we must empower these groups, and that's why I put them on top. Almost everyone who has a right, of course, if you're a musician, you have a right. If you're an actor, you have a right. Film producer, you have a right. And so because of that, we all will end up at the collecting society level. Even the various associations, we are the same people who occupy the board of the collecting society. And so take notes. James was fighting me when I said that I wanted to see the collecting societies lead the rest of the. And so far, they are the most organized ones, true or false? Yes, go and look at their building. They have resources. Yes, they have resources. So we should see them as such, empower them, and then hold them responsible for the monies you are not making. Instead of us going on radio and fighting ASOG or fighting Gamro, let's fight the people who owe us. The radio station interviews you, the radio station owes you, and you won't talk about that one. But you are talking about, oh, Mr. Wusukra, I don't see what ASOC is doing. I don't see what Gamro is doing. Yet the one who is actually doing the interview is the one causing your poverty. But we end up dissing the people who have sacrificed their time leading us. As we sit in our various homes or offices doing our personal jobs, some performers have also dedicated their time, and they are at Gamro, ASOG, Copy Ghana, administering what you would benefit. So let's show them some respect and then support them get the money for us. I often mention ASOG and film producers first. It is deliberate because they say I am music bias. So you hear me talk about film, so that they won't say I'm music bias. So this is how it looks like. Musica is the music people. Mrs. Hobson led them years ago, handed over to Obo to Bessa, right? Accent. Okay. Why is he not here? Okay, so you are here because of him. Okay, good. All right. So Gapi is where I used to belong. Underline the used to. I used to belong. And we are there. We are about the most powerful music producers in Ghana. Almost all the top music producers you can think of came from Gapi. It started with our chairman, Despite, and it came down to our time. And then I don't know what's happening to them now, because that publishing sector is a little weak, but they are strong. PROMSAG is a spinning society, spinners, which I belong to also growing up. Yeah, they are also very strong. This group I have never heard before, Wasgam or something. Frank, what's Wasgam? Oh, Nasgam. That's what I said. I've never heard this before. Okay. I know Nasgam. Nasgam is a John Mensah Sapong association. Okay, John Mensah Sapong used to lead Gapi. Respectfully, he lost an election and he decided to form a new one. And then he formed Nasgam to fight Gapi. It happens. Yeah, it happens. So, what I like about these two groups is that both of them have their marketing and distribution associations intact. And this is the final point of the money making. So when they have a formidable front like this, it means we are on the right track. So, marketing, distribution, and film, for film, and then music for Gamro. And then you see film people also have the same, marketing and distribution. They have women in film, which I have an issue with, but I'm not in a position to change it. Women in film. We have children in film. Men in film. Married women in film. Single men in film. So moving on, the film fraternity, I think it's an area you should check, or else, which is already a challenge we have. FICAC, James, what's FICAC? Film crew, oh, more. Okay. FICAC, forgive me if I'm not able to identify them. They are the newest kids on the block. Oh. Last year, ah, okay. My father told me that Womuna now tisumwa, benenemehu. Womuna, you have a frown face or side face, but you are in the dark. How would I know? I only knew you last year when you came here. So, professionally, you came in existence last year. No, per what we do, I cannot go and say that, oh, and because you were there. So what was the first name? James, is it true? You are not getting what I'm saying. Has it been existing, or I started my music career in 1996, but most of you knew me from Kokoko. Yes. So all I'm saying is that anytime you ask me, I said, oh, I actually started at the time you knew my hits. Because if you register a business at Registrar General and you tell them that I used to operate underground, so you didn't know me, it doesn't matter. It is when you registered the business, the date that the government recognizes you. That's what I'm saying, that per the date, did you launch the first one? You had the first one launched. You had it launched. When was that? 2010. Okay, then you are not a new kid on the block. You have just changed your housing. Okay, all right. Thank you. So GAFTA, the popular one, GAFTA, is that where my friend belongs? Busumpim? Okay. Actors Guild? Ken, your people? Okay. So this is it. I hear people getting confused. I can't tell the difference between FIPAC and ASOG. FIPAC is like a trade union. ASOG is purely collecting of your money and giving to you. And they deal with rights. They don't deal with companies. They deal with rights. They don't, that is why when you register with Gamro, they don't do album registering. They do songs. So strictly rights issues. And then the rest of them are trade unions. Hello? Okay, good. So on this note, send Frank, let me see. Oh, it's not here. Okay. Songwriters Association. Who is your lead? Oh, Logic. And then, well, if you don't know, well, how can you have Musica? If you think Musica is not what you want, try and go and support. Take some of the job and help, and let's build one group. This thing about Mateme home, I have that society. Let's say deal. But some of these associations or societies that I see here, if we ask them to even show us their office as a member, some of them, their membership in do 10. But they've registered and they've made themselves presidents, and they have their 2 friends around them who are vice and treasurer or something, and it's happening. The moment you call for any meeting, they come. It's not helping anyone. This is not my first time seeing this. If you've been coming for our meetings, every time I say this, the smaller groupings, that if you're able to make them smaller, you become more powerful with a strong or a stronger base. So this, what is it, gospel musicians, what?
Yeah, the gospel musicians.
I hope you are not the president.
No, but Christian, yeah.
Wow.
So
Yes.
The Christian gospel musicians, they just
Okay.
And it is not going to be a rival to Musica. It is rather going to make Musica strong.
Why don't we go to Musica and form a unit within Musica, which is a sub of Musica? The gospel or Christian, was it Christian gospel? She was the chair.
Yes,
She's still the chair. Good. So why do we form another association?
Okay, so because the regulation of the union and the way the union is situated, its hand cannot really reach far. So we found it necessary, because I fall in that way, to get to come to mix music. So
I suspect you are the one who created this association. The way you are defending.
we have a summit we started like years ago, close to 15 years ago. Every year we do that summit. And so it's
As a former president for Musica, do you think it's good?
so let me tell you
The history.
the history.
Okay.
So for Auntie Mary's office, Musica hasn't got money to stock her to do things that she would like to do. And the musicians they keep increasing. Young ones are coming on, many are coming on, and until there's a congress or something before you get people coming on. So this association encourages members to register at Musica. It is yet to introduce itself to the council, to Musica, and see how it can collaborate. That is where it is coming from. It is not just a mushroom that will be by itself, because we know that Musica is the umbrella body if it comes to music. And so definitely, this one I'm talking about, and we have the Women in Gospel. Auntie Mary is the founder of the Women in Gospel. And so we come in to meet the need, because the union is not able to visit one musician who is sick in a corner somewhere, in Agbogbloshi somewhere. But the Women in Gospel, we reach out and do those things on behalf of a fraternity, not rivaling Musica. So
Okay.
it's just to reach where the big organizations' fingers cannot reach. And as we are industry people, we are guiding them so that the right thing will be done. It will not seen as a rival, but rather enhancing their work.
Okay. I can only advise. That's where my ultimate that I can do.
And actually,
So-
it will be the council's work to regulate and be sure that they don't go out. So I'm very happy with what you're saying.
Okay.
Because these small groups are the ones that become pressure bodies and mess things up for the industry. So
Yeah.
I really agree with you on that.
Okay. Thank you. So, Daddy Bosco, over to you, Joe Latte. Okay. So I think I'm done. Frank, yeah, I'm done. So our resource people, we have James here on film. Abraham is here. Abraham is here. For the music people, those of you who do not know much about, he is a veteran. When I was starting my music career, he was the go-to person when it comes to copyright issues. And he wasn't that nice to people. He had a bad name at the time because he knows. But growing up, we see that it was also important. We needed that to be able to get to where we are now. And so when it gets to him, you hear from Abraham. So thank you, Frank.
Thank you. So straight, because he started from the council's perspective, I would like for the various selected reps of the domains who have fair idea as to how our operations are to also respond, i.e. Daddy Bosco, James, and of course, intermittently, Kenfiati is here. He will key in one or two when it comes to film, especially with SAG, to key in one or two. And so I'll start directly from James to do his presentation. After that, then we'll go to Daddy Bosco, and then our issues of digitizing what we are doing now, the dispensation that we are in now. A host of people are watching online for this particular segment. It's going to be done by our brother Kobe Spikey, Mr. Nkrumah, and Sadiq Abdullahi will also join us to also support him with that presentation. So, folks, I present to you Mr. James Abuaji. He's the president of FIPA.
Good morning. Frank. Hey. We are in the afternoon. We are going to look at 4 key areas when it comes to the film industry. We are looking at the nature of the filmmaking process, or the process of making film. Then we look at the structure. Then we will look at the film industry and the Audiovisual Rights Society of Ghana, that is ASOG. Then the current industry of that is where the film industry is going. It is more or less becoming a virtual industry now. Let me start by talking about the copyright issues in the film industry. You see, filmmaking is not like music, where one person can sit down, write, play all the instruments, does the recording, and releases the music. Filmmaking is not like that. Filmmaking is a collaborative effort. It is almost impracticable for one person to make a movie. So practically speaking, the right of a film does not belong to one person. The right of a film. Because you have somebody who writes a script with pen and paper. Then somebody who writes the film, because we are talking about audiovisual. But that person will not use pen and paper. The person will use camera and microphone to write. It is another form of writing. And the industry is finding it very difficult to understand some of these things, so it is more or less creating friction. Then we will have the musicians, because film goes with music. Whether you do singing or you use moods, it is still music. You have a musician that will do that. All these people are supposed to benefit from their intellectual work. But over here, these people are the most vulnerable in the industry. So we have the executive producer. To me, the executive producer is not part of our industry, because our industry, the structure of our industry is different from the American structure. The American structure, they have the studios that are set up purposely to produce movies. They finance the movies. But when you come here, it becomes more or less everybody is an independent movie producer. So the executive producer can be a VIP bus owner. The person has got money sitting in his accounts, his or her accounts. Then somebody will go and sell the idea or how lucrative the movie industry is. Those people, their interest is in their profit. How much are we making? That is why I'm saying that, to me, they are not part of the industry. Because if you take his money and you mess up, if you don't take care, you end up in jail. So it is the producer who initiates all this process. The idea of making the film will come from him. The concept of what the film should be about will come from him. So he becomes the apex when it comes to making the movie. Then he will look for a team to work with. Who is going to interpret what is written on paper, visually, plus audio. During the recording of the movie, the director becomes very dominant because he supervises all the creative ideas that are being expressed. He will tell the cameraman, I don't like the position that you have placed the camera. The angle is not good. I will not achieve what I want to achieve. He will tell the actor, we are going for another take because you didn't do well. At that time, he is the commander. However, the producer must have an idea of what the whole film is about. When they were shooting Deadly Voyage in Ghana, because the producer knew the story, what they were shooting, at a point they fired the director because the interpretation was not going well. But over here, we find some people who call themselves producers who know next to nothing about the project being done. If you ask them to come forward and give the process of making film, they can't give to you, but they call themselves producers. This is why sometimes you have some of these frictions in the industry. So under the directors, we have the script writers, we have the performers. The performers are the actors. Then the crew, the musician, these people will come. Okay, the process of making film is divided into three: the pre-production, the production, and post-production. All the preparations towards the movie or the project production. Over there, if you work very effectively, you save cost. If you don't do your pre-production very well, you will use your production time to do pre-production and the cost. But if you don't do that one well, but when you are on location, then you begin to work on some of these things. You cannot go and tell the hotel manager that, please, can you give me an extra day free because I couldn't do this. You cannot tell your cast and crew that I will not feed you because we couldn't shoot scene 2 yesterday, we have to shoot it today. So you add to your cost. So the pre-production is very, very important. Then the production is where you assemble everybody that you need, and then you commission the job. Then the post-production is where the post-production level, what we do is like taking your fabric to a tailor or a seamstress for construction. All the scenes that is shot in pieces, it is where they are put together. And over there too, if you don't take care, all the efforts that you've made will be wasted. You have to get, you see, of late, we have made film production very, very easy because we take virtually about 3 types of shots. We take our long shots, we take medium, then we take close-up. If you ask people why certain shots are taken, they might not be able to explain to you. That is why most of our movies look almost the same. So over there, having assembled all your various rushes, if the editor who is doing the post-production, first of all, the editor must understand the story. Should be able to read the mind of the director before the person can do a very good job. But of late, we've seen directors who will give their rushes to the editors and they will never visit the editor to know whether they are doing a good job or not. We take post-production for granted. That is why sometimes the pictures are not good. Sometimes you have to treat the pictures after you've completed editing the movies. You have to work on the sound. Sometimes the sound, you have to do ADR. You have to go to studio and do voice recording of some of the scenes. But we take all these things for granted. So if our movies are not coming out right, it means all the 3 various of processes of production are not being followed properly. Then we come to the structure of the filmmaking itself. You see, as director, the structure of the film industry. You see, in every production setup, we have the machines, we have other variables, that is the materials that you use to work. In our industry, human beings are raw materials. So if we are not able to structure the industry very well, we suffer. For instance, how do we take care of producers in Ghana? I can tell you that the producers, they sweat, and the executive producers who are outside the production circle, they take all the money. So true producers are poor. They have the interest of the industry at heart. Now that we are experiencing some challenges, most of the executive producers, about 99.9%, they have diverted their resources doing other businesses. And the producers are running around looking for funding for the industry or to rejuvenate the industry. So the role of the producer and the welfare of the producer is very, very important. That is why we need to strengthen the Film Producers Association so that they can always work on behalf of the producers. And also we need to structure it in such a way that we will have true film producers forming the Film Producers Association. They should understand the process of filmmaking. Then the actors, they are also our raw materials. If you want to get the best from an actor, you should be able to psych them very, very well. A person who, there's nothing wrong with the person and you want the person to cry. How do you achieve that? It depends on how you handle the actor, the human being. You have to make the actor very pliable so that you can turn him or her in any direction that you want. But before you can do that, you must also look at the interest, the need of the actor. So, strengthening Actors Guild is very important. Then we have the crew. They are the most grossed over kind of people in the industry. You go to the location, the director, the producer, they sleep in the finest rooms. The actors, they sleep in the finest rooms. But when it comes to the turn of the crew, they are packed. Nobody cares about. If an actor calls for water, the person is given bottled water. If the crew calls for water, if you are fortunate enough, then you are given a sachet water. So, is it true? It's not true. The crew, they are very, very important. But most often, we don't treat them as such. So when we are looking at the structures, we have to be mindful of the role that the crew play. Then we come to ASOG, Audiovisual Rights Society of Ghana. It is a collective management society, just like our president said. It's supposed to be our bank. But as far as FIPAC is concerned, they are not serving that purpose. And it is not helping us. Because there is one type of royalty that I don't think ever since ASO came into being, they have ever collected it. Mechanical royalties. There were companies here replicating CDs. They never paid any royalty. They were benefiting from our sweat. So at least we were supposed to get peanuts. Then we come to the normal royalties. Token. Okay. Oh. Okay, small. So that the normal royalties, our ASOG is finding challenges to collect the normal royalties. That is from the third-party users, the TV stations, those operating these coaches, because nowadays it is almost impracticable for you to join a coach or a bus that does not have television. They show music videos, they show full-length movies, and they pay nothing. They are using our products to enhance their business. Some of them, they are ready to pay, but we are not collecting. So how can they build resources to become our bankers? They can't bail us out when we are in need of money. All what we rely on is the blank levies.
females. You notice from most of the statistics that females were always underrepresented in the stats, but during COVID season, you notice that the females have jumped on their devices. Now, smartphone or mobile phone use has 79% female and 74% males. And laptop computers, they're actually tied at 45% for both genders. Now, that's very interesting for someone who's tracked this most of the time. We used to create this sense of women use their husbands or their boyfriend's devices, and that's why they don't usually count this high. But COVID season has proven to us that they just weren't interested, or they were probably busy with something else. Oh yes, our assumption that they were using their partner's devices could also have been true. And now that both of them are at home, not really doing anything, they can now use their own devices. Now it comes down, when you come down, you see that on a desktop computer, you have more males than females, tablet devices, more females, game consoles, obviously, more males, smart speakers, and then smart watches. Now, this is where I think everybody would be more interested in. Since the COVID season, 57% of people have been watching more shows and films on streaming services. So for the filmmakers, this was a period for you to be cashing out, because everyone is watching shows, films. I hear people, texting me, Charlie, send me some link to download some series or something. I'm like, listen, I don't encourage that stuff. Spending longer time on social media. So people are actually watching more shows and streaming movies than they actually spend on social media. So 47% of people, or the time people spend is on social media, and they spend about 46% on messenger services like WhatsApp and Snapchat and whatever, and 39% listen to more music streaming services, and 36% spend more time on other mobile apps, 35% of time on video games and computing, playing computer or video games, and then 15% create and upload videos, talking about the TikTokers and the Instagrammers. And then podcasts, also 14% of time spent. Now, on the internet, all these statistics I'm giving you is prior to the information that I'll be sharing. So it's good that you know how the internet works. Now, this is the world's most visited website. There are lots of services, but two very special ones that we all rely on, SimilarWeb and Alexa. So SimilarWeb tells you that number one most visited website is Google, and the time people spend there is about 10 minutes. Number two is YouTube. People spend about 21 minutes averagely. Facebook, 11 minutes. Baidu, 8 minutes. Baidu is Chinese. Twitter, 10 minutes. Wikipedia, 3 minutes. Instagram, 7. Yahoo, 7. X videos and Pornhub, 12 minutes, 9 minutes. And then you have, so globally, you can see that top 10, Google and all that. And then, yeah, people watch a lot of porn. So they're in the top 10. And according to Alexa, which is interesting because Alexa does not indicate people watching porn. So it begs the question, is it that Alexa is being biased some way? Because, yeah, we all know that sex sells. So according to Alexa, still YouTube and Google, number 1 and 2, Tmall, Facebook, Baidu, QQ from China, Sohu. So you find out more Chinese websites are, indexed by Alexa and in comparison to SimilarWeb. And number 20 is Netflix. Now, when you come to Ghana, the most visited websites in Ghana, Google, still number 1. People spend about 12 minutes there. YouTube, 11. Ghana Web, 7 minutes. Betway, 8 minutes. So if you're looking at starting a football team, you know that people are browsing Betway. And then Facebook, 17 minutes. Yahoo. This is interesting because Betway is actually on top of Facebook. That means that people actually bet more than they go on Facebook. Ghana Web is on top of Facebook, which is also very interesting. It means that people want to read what is happening. And then Yahoo, Yen, Google, MyJournalline, Wikipedia, and the rest. Then the search queries, what people search on Google. Now this is also important because as anyone who creates anything that you put online, you want people to be able to find it. Now, search queries, knowing what the top Google search queries are is important because then you can know how you are ranking. I'm showing top 20 because obviously we can't go to top 200 or anything. Number 1, Google, Facebook, coronavirus, obviously. YouTube, news, weather, translate, Amazon, Instagram, Gmail, MP3, Claimer, WhatsApp, and so on. Now, top Google search queries in Ghana, which comes next, will show you that number 1, people are searching for Ghana. in Ghana. They're searching for Ghana in Ghana. And then people are searching for time. I wonder why. People are searching for Ghana, where people are searching for Betway, which we have established because they don't want to type the full Betway, so they just type Betway into Google and then click on it. People are typing Google into Google. I don't know why. And then Facebook, Ghana, GH, and then Shatawale is the top search query. And live score, translate, bet power, YouTube music, Chelsea, Stoneboy, Sarkodia, weather, Gmail, WhatsApp, soccer bet. I mean, if I was Shatawale's manager, this would be good information to have. This is good data to know how well we're doing. If people are searching, we're in the top 10 search queries in Google in Ghana. That is good news for us. Now, the reason I showed all these statistics is because most of the time when I meet people and I talk to them about digital, they're thinking Ghana. They're thinking, how do I blow in Ghana? How do I become relevant in Ghana? But on the internet, you're not limited to one demographic. You're not limited to one space, geographical space. You can be in the Americas, you can be in Europe, you can be in Asia, you can be in the rest of Africa. So why do you limit your ideology and think that, hey, I just want to be found in Ghana? On digital, most people that want to make it, do stuff on digital, it's all about making money. The clout that you want is so that you can make money. The ability to be found is just so you can make money. So at the end of the day, it's all about making money. Now, Instagram. How many people here on Instagram? Show by hand. How many of you have made a peswa with Instagram before? Show by hand. A peswa. Have you made a peswa with Instagram before? Nobody here? I have. I made money on Instagram, and I'm not even as popular as some of you over here. Because people, go back. People don't realize the power of Instagram, the power of having clout, the power of having a crowd, or the power of having a following. Now, those who know me know that I'm an influencer for Samsung and Huawei. They send me devices anytime they release them to review. And that's all because of social media. I haven't bought a phone since 2014. I have like 5 phones I can switch to, and all because of social media. And you people, like I say, have more clout than I do. But here I am, not buying a phone for the rest of my life. Advertising. Advertisers are looking for people that they can relate with. I don't watch an ad on TV and think, oh, I want that. But I'd watch something by someone that I revere using and think, oh, I want that thing because this guy is using it. So advertisers are looking for brands or people who have branded themselves in such a way that they are relatable by people so they can advertise for them. Now, I used Beyonce on the left as an example because Beyonce makes a post. Beyonce doesn't post often, but she makes a post on Instagram and she makes $1 million. Now, how many of you here would like to make $1 million just by one post? She did this for Pepsi and it's $1 million. I mean, if I had to make $1 million for just posting on Instagram, I wouldn't do anything again for the rest of my life. Merchandising. You become a brand, you become popular, you become someone that everybody wants to talk about. I mean, people are talking about. You create merch. I've seen Shatawale did his Rain merchandise, the 3 dash things. I don't know if he's the one milking it or people are leveraging off that brand to make money off him. But that's one way he could have made money on social media, merchandising, creating all that merchandise, creating a site where he could have uploaded all this stuff and then sold them and made money. Now, paid partnerships and influencers. It's similar to advertising for people, except in this part, you, the person, are creating the content for the brand. So I can come up with a concept for, let's say, Samsung and say, hey, I can teach people how to use their phone to do X, Y, Z, and it's going to come from me, but it's going to be for you. So people are watching it subliminally. I'm suggesting Samsung to them, but they don't realize it because they think, oh, Spikey's giving me a tech tip, but he said he could do this with Samsung, and wow, it's awesome. I'm going to get a Samsung so I can do that. I've actually sold for Samsung without making people know that I was advertising for Samsung, thereby becoming an influencer for Samsung. Now, on Instagram, most people, we'll get to YouTube, but Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, they are gateways to YouTube. YouTube is the cash cow. How many of you here have made money with YouTube? That's great. 1, 2, 3. Good. 4. Now, using Instagram could be a gateway to leading people to your YouTube. People follow you. You may have more followers on Instagram than you have on YouTube. And you could tell those people with a teaser to your content, saying that, oh, I'm releasing this on YouTube. You show just an excerpt of it. Tell them to click the link in the bio to go follow and watch the video on YouTube. And they do that, they go watch your video, you're getting money from YouTube. Curated content. Content that you put on Instagram shouldn't be by heart. And I say this because I see people post anything on Instagram, especially I'm talking about celebrities and people who want to do something with Instagram. It has to be curated, it has to be planned, there has to be a method to that madness. You don't just wake up and then, yeah, I woke up, sunshiny day, and just posted it. There's no plan, nothing. No, you need to think about it. You need to schedule, you need to have a plan, basically, like, think about it. And then analytics. Instagram and every other social media platform gives you analytics. Now, I gave you some statistics before we started. If you have your own personal Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or YouTube, I'm sure you go all the time to go check how many likes have I gotten on the last picture I posted, especially the ladies. They want to see, oh, I got 1,000 likes. Oh, Charlie, this picture they be, and that kind of thing. But do you realize that those likes could actually translate to money? Because someone wants to pay for those likes. Someone wants to pay for those shares. Someone wants to pay for the eyeballs that you're getting. All those people looking at your content, they are possible cash cows that you're making out of them. And consistency. This thing I should have underlined, boldened, and then probably just made it overtake the whole screen, because that's one thing I realize about our people on social media and on digital. We're not consistent. If I come to follow you today, I watch content that you posted on Monday, Tuesday, I'm expecting something on Wednesday, you leave me out. I'm expecting something on Thursday, you're gone. Friday, nothing. Saturday, Sunday, I forget about you. There's so much out there for us to consume. We're like scrolling constantly on Instagram, scrolling on Twitter. Everything is fleeting. If you're not in the faces of people, they'll forget about you, because somebody will come, do the same thing that you're doing, and then catch that attention, and then they forget that you ever even existed. I have a chronic case of CRS, and CRS is can't remember, S for that foul word. I can't remember anything. I see people, I can't remember their names and everything. So you can imagine what will happen if you are not consistent in my face. I will forget you. And next time you post, I'll be like, who's this one? Forgetting that, oh, once upon a time you made me laugh. Right. So just as I said on Instagram, Facebook, you can make money too. It's the same method as Instagram, but there's more. Facebook actually lets you monetize content. Now, Ghana is not yet ready to make. They haven't let us start monetizing our content. I'll give you one possible reason. I say possible with air quotes because we know that's the reason, but we don't want to embrace it. When we're talking about Ghana, we're talking about music and the rest, our rights. We don't have a very good rights management system in Ghana, so anybody can take anybody's content and then upload it and claim it. And now this is something that Facebook will not. You won't go and sue me for uploading Famia's song, for instance. If Famia realizes that I've uploaded his song on Facebook, he could, in America, he would sue Facebook for allowing me to upload his song there when I don't own the rights to that song. Now, Facebook, in order to prevent this, says that, you know what, in places where we cannot control this, we won't let this happen. When we can control it, we'll let it happen. And you notice that if you upload someone's content lately, you get notifications from Facebook that it has been taken down because of copyright, policies and blah, blah. You need to follow those things very well. If you want to bypass this thing, you can actually just use a country that Facebook has allowed this to happen and upload your content through there. But it means that you're going to get paid through that channel. You're not going to get paid through Ghana. Because Ghana, some brands have been allowed, but not all. And branded content, same as what I said on Instagram, but Facebook actually gives you a portal so you can connect with brands. So when you have this agreement with a brand that you want to promote their stuff, you can actually, they can track what you're doing, you can track what is happening, and then so on and so forth. And Facebook Music. So Facebook is now allowing musicians to submit their songs so people can use them, and then when they collect monies, they pay you. So just like you do on a Spotify or Apple Music or Tidal, Facebook is now saying, hey, submit your music, let people use them, and then when you get money, we'll pay you. Just like you would see. So you notice that on the Facebook stories, which is like Instagram stories and TikTok and Triller, for all those who use those platforms, you can use someone's song and then sing along to it, blah, blah, blah. And Facebook would actually put ads on this content. And because the music belongs to you, When revenue comes, they call you and say, Famea, you made about $500 from people using your song to make videos, and then they pay you. Now, how much do creatives make on digital in reality? The coins you see on the left, that's how much they're making. They're really not making cash because they're not using a strategy. People just release stuff and they put it on YouTube, they put it on Facebook, they put it on Instagram, they put it on Twitter. I don't know how many people actually have a strategy, a digital strategy to the content that they create. All I see is, oh, I've got a new video, I drop it there. There's no, pre-release stuff, there's no build-up. Yeah, sometimes some people do it, but then it's not a very good strategy. Now that we're in COVID season, most artists used to make money from gigs. They go out and then perform and then they make money. And that is supplement. So the money they make on digital supplements the gigs that they play. But now there's no gigs. You can't go and perform anywhere. You can't go shoot a movie or something. So you're stuck with digital. Now, musicians are even calling for industry shake-up to protect artists during the lockdown. They're asking for Spotify and the streaming services to increase their cuts on the royalties. Now, the question is, will that happen? In waiting for that, you might want to look at a good strategy. First off, you need to think globally. Like I said, don't think Ghana. And I'll show you some slides. I'll show you why don't think Ghana. You can be found, I'm not done. You can be found in any part of the country. Like people in, Frank, you've actually skipped 2 slides. Go back and back again. Yeah, you can be found in Cambodia or anywhere. You'd be surprised that Magnum went to perform in, I think, was one of these African countries, and he was known and he was revered. And that would probably be as a result of being known digitally. I don't think Magnum recorded his songs on CDs and sent them to that country, and then when he went there, he was a star. No, he was found on digital. So, back. Another strategy is you need to be dynamic. Don't stick to, yeah, you're a musician, but you need to be very dynamic. You need to do things on digital that can get people, attracted to your brand. So, for instance, you'd notice that Don Jazzy started creating content on TikTok. He was being a comic. He was not just, we know Don Jazzy as a music producer, but he started creating stuff. And during COVID season, I saw some of our actors do very interesting stuff on TikTok and Instagram. And I was glad because they went out of their, their comfort zone to try different things. And those things would have paid well if there was a strategy. You'd find that a brand may say, listen, use our brand to create content and we'll pay you for it. Sometimes you don't have to wait for the brand to approach you. You create the content, you grab your analytics, walk to them and tell them that, hey, listen, I have 1 million people watching me anytime I post something, and I can guarantee you that give me this, and then in 30 minutes, 500,000 people would have clicked your link, and you have the data to prove it. You don't just go talking, but you have data to prove it. And that all starts with a plan. So like I mentioned, your analytics, very important. You can't do without them. If you come to me and tell me that, hey, I can get 1 million clicks, what's the proof? I need to see that. When I go to sell my job online to brands and the rest, and I go there with analytics, I tell them that, hey, I have 60% male, 40% female. Your product would appeal to male. This is the devices they're coming to me on, so create a graphic to match this. This is how the time that they come, so we'll put it on at this time and that time. This is what people want to see. This is what they're reading. This is what interests them. So let's go along this line. And then they pay, and then they get the results, and then they come back. You see, if they don't get results, they won't come back. If I don't go with analytics, they wouldn't even start. Then partnership. Now, yeah, we're in a country where I rarely see this happening, and I don't know whether we like this whole one-man chop thing too much. But one man, no chop. We all for chop, you know what I mean? We all for chop. If I realize that I'm very good at this, but X person is better at that, why not partner with the person? Let's do this. If you watch, how many of you know Kim Bash on Vine, TikTok? Okay, I think King Bash was a very, very popular Instagram Viner. When I say Vine, that was Twitter's initial attempt at TikTok-ish content. And now he's moved to TikTok, yes. And he's done stuff, and he partners with other creators to create content. He doesn't just do it himself anymore. And you'd realize that what this does is it introduces your competitor, for lack of a better word, audience to you, and introduces you to them. So cross-pollination, if you know what I mean. Like, I am helping you, you're helping me. And it helps them. And you should see Kimbash's house. And he doesn't do any work. All he does is put content on social media. And you need, once again, to be consistent. Don't do today, don't do tomorrow, and then and I won't do it again. No, you have to really be consistent, and it will work. I'll show you the magic of consistency. Other strategies: Patreon, crowdfunding, custom pay gates, and limited availability content. When I say Patreon, I'm talking about donations. So I'm a fan of X person. If that person says, hey, I'm doing this, I'm releasing this song, I'm not asking you guys to buy it, donate. Put it on Patreon. Anyone who wants to donate something. You'd be surprised. If you were selling, you sell it for 10 CDs, but I crazy love this artist so much, I would pay 100 CDs. You see, but at the end of the day, because I won't buy 10 CDs, what am I going to do with 10 CDs? But if, I mean not 10 CDs, 10 CDs. If I was supposed to give you money worth for 10 CDs, I would have done that if I had the opportunity to. And there's so many people who would do these things. So you should also look at this whole possibility. Now, crowdfunding for the filmmakers. Maybe you're looking at releasing a film. I love this director, I love this artist, and the artist wants to make a film. It's a big budget, but he can't afford to do it, and there's no executive producer because times are hard and we're not very liquid right now. I just crowdfund. So go to Kickstarter and then say, hey, I'm looking at doing a movie on Ya Santoa. The budget is going to be this. We've shot a trailer. We've put this thing out there. Show people what it's going to look like and tell people to crowdfund it. You'd be surprised how many people would want to help fund this thing. You give them benefits. So first, 1,000 people to donate X amount of money get exclusive this, or they get merchandise on the movie, or they get mentions during the movie or after the movie or something. And people will do it. It's worked elsewhere. I don't know about our culture here because not a lot of people have tried this, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to try it, does it? It's not going to cost you any money, so try it and then see. And a custom pay gate for maybe you selling your music or your movie. Anyone can have a website. Right now it costs what? $10 to buy a domain. Buy a domain, buy a hosting, host your website, get someone to develop a very nice system for you where you can upload your music or your movie. Anyone who's coming to watch the movie meets a pay gate that tells them that, hey, pay 10 CDs with your mobile money to watch my movie. It's that simple. And then people pay you, get to watch the movie, and they're done. I'm sure right now the question in people's minds is piracy, piracy. We'll get there. Now, limited availability content. You know, a Rolls Royce is a car. A Toyota is a car. But if I told you, if I put both down and told you that, hey, which one would you take if I was giving it to you for free? How many of you would take the Toyota? Show by hands. Hey, that's surprising. Well, yes, those who are not taking the Toyota means that you know the value of the Rolls Royce. Now, certain content that is not available to everyone, I'd like to own it. I'd like to be one of the special people who has access to Familia's exclusive song that nobody else has, or exclusive something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a song. It could be a video. It could be something that nobody else has. Now, in order to do this, you can't do this on your own. You need to talk to someone who understands the digital space, who can come up with a way to create content that is not piratable, because that's probably what you're thinking. How can I create limited availability content when people can easily pirate it? But once again, partnerships. So you partner with somebody who can come up with a very good encryption, technology for you, and that content becomes limited. And it will be expensive because it's a Rolls Royce. Now, I told you I was going to tell you about YouTube. So this is one of the brands that I helped create and manage. I still manage. For the last 28 days, this is how much money they made on YouTube. $12,000. Now, I don't make that amount of money in a month. And they don't make 1 million views. Trust me, I know. But they are very consistent. Every single day, they churn out about 10 videos. And do the math. 10 times 30. You're getting about 300 videos. If each video is getting about 1,000 views, 300 times 1,000, that's 3 million already. But they're making about $12,000 in 28 days. They've gotten about 689,406 views in the last 48 hours. Consistency. Next. The same brand, for the last 90 days, they made about $30,000 in just 90 days, 3 months. So that's $10,000 every single month. Who here doesn't want to make that kind of money? Oh, I thought Mr. Toyota, you'd have raised your hand. Now, next. same brand, I'm going to break down their statistics to you. So these are the analytics. Number one is the people who watch the stuff that they put out. Those who are not subscribed, well, 68%, and those who are subscribed, 31%. All because they didn't listen to my instruction of putting end credits or an end card that tells people subscribe. Because a call to action is very important when you do, when you put out content. Anytime you put something, please subscribe to my channel, or like, subscribe, share. Call to actions are very important. There's a subconsciously, you are ordering them to do something. You don't know it, but it works. And the gender, male, 58%. Now, you see, this is why I used to think that the females were using the males' phones to watch the content, because the males were dominating the females. But COVID has proven us wrong, that females can also watch things on their own phones. Now, top countries, because this brand is found in Ghana, number one is Ghana, 30%. Now, number two is United States, that's 13.7%. United Kingdom, 13.5%. Germany, 8%. Italy, 7%. So you see, they're not getting only Ghanaians, they're getting people globally. So you're not just targeting Ghana, you could be found anywhere. And if I had expanded this, you would have seen that we got people from Guyana, some countries I haven't even heard of. Well, obviously, because we're global, we found them. Now, you know the age, and you're getting all the demographics, so you can see that between 25 to 34 years, that's the age group that usually visits. Second is the 35 to 44, and then third is the 18 to 24. Now, these analytics are important, because if you're going to see a brand that wants to appeal to teenagers, it's definitely not this channel. Because look, 13 to 17, very few people are interested in that age bracket in their content. Their content appeals to 25 to 44. So that's the middle age to, the middle ages. Now, if I want to see a brand like that, I'm going to talk to insurance companies, I'm going to talk to car companies. They are the ones, that's their target market, and I have them. I have 6 million of them watching me every single month. Next. Now, in the past, this is for the last year. So, yeah, they made $100,000 in 365 days. So if you count from then to now, they've made $100,000. Now, they're operating from some place not even bigger than this, but they're making this amount of money every year, and they could be making more if they listened. But yeah, you know how Ghanaians are, yeah, we're comfortable. I don't like fanasa. I like more money, so it's very possible to make money digitally, but you need to know how to do it. You need to have a good strategy. And the piracy, yes. I saw this on Facebook. Sarkodie was asking, sometimes these free sites help push records. Well, can you guys please allow artists to make some money? At least give them a week. Just push the links from paid platforms, links from your site. You don't lose beep. Now, for musicians, for filmmakers, that's one thing you're always battling, especially in this country, piracy. You put your song out, 10 minutes, GhanaMotion.com. Any of you here? Any of the bloggers who have been doing that here? Yeah. So people don't know how to take these content down. But it's actually very easy, because what they don't know is that they buy their domains from the United States. They buy their hosting from the United States. Now, the United States is governed by a law that allows you to take down content. That's how come YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and everything can take down content that you do not own the rights to. So it's simple, Frank. You can write, it's just 4 letters, and you probably heard it. You have to press it 4 times. So it's called DMCA. How many of you have heard of DMCA? Nobody's heard of DMCA. Nobody's received, you have, exactly. So the DMCA is a body that can fight for you when someone uploads your content without your permission. And they can issue a takedown notice. Now, if you don't respect that takedown notice, they're not even sending it to you, the person, they're sending it to the platform you uploaded it to. And they, to save themselves, to save their skins from a legal suit, will quickly take down your whole channel if they have to. How many of you have lost your Facebook or your Twitter or your Instagram or your YouTube because of a DMCA strike? Yeah, they will just strike you. And it's, all you have to do if you realize that there's an AAA on your song is just go to Whois to find out who registered that website, and then write to the DMCA and tell them that I own the rights, and please, you need to own the rights to that content. If you don't, then you're going to have a legal battle. But you need to prove that you own the rights, so take a screenshot and attach proof that you own this content, send it to the DMC and tell them that, hey, I want to take down this content like now. They will write to Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Don't write to the person who did it and tell them that if you don't take this down, legal action. And they too, they know that, Charlie, if they do yawa, they're going to pay big money. So they'll strike the content down or they'll strike the whole channel down. So with that being said, thank you.
Thank you very much, Spikey. Yes, so we're now going to be opening the window for questions. There are questions that have come in from online. We'll address them. There are questions from people here. We'll give time limits because of the limited time that we have. So if you raise up
those that are actually under the creative arts. And I heard carpentry at a point, and fine, somebody would say that, well, I'm not asking this for filmmakers because I'm an actor, but I just want to move away because I can see most of my colleagues here, they may ask questions that are equally, but this has to do with this one. That I heard you mention carpentry, and then you mentioned also furniture. Yes, carpentry and furniture. And I'm asking this because you mentioned that if we are not careful, we would have so many groupings under this, which would become groupings that might be fighting the mother body and all that. So I really want to see the difference between that carpentry and furniture thing, because I know that it's the carpenters that at the end of the day put up the furnitures. So why is furniture not seen under, let's say, decoration? Because I saw deco. Yeah, I saw deco. So why is carpentry not seen under deco? Because I know I belong to Ghana Actors Guild, at the same time SAG, and I know SAG is under Actors Guild. Right, so I just want to have that clarification straight. All right. The second one has to do with our gentleman who just finished. Ghana's population is 30.7 per what you said. But we have about 37 or 39, about 40 million people using mobile phone. So does it mean that each person is maybe using, like we have one person using more than one phone? Yes. Okay, so that answers that one. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Nana Bachelor. My question is to the IT person. The issue of monetization, it's a big headache now. I must say, most people are on social media, particularly with YouTube, but how to monetize their channel is an issue. So if you can throw light on it for us.
Okay, so YouTube monetization, it used to be very easy, but now you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. So I'll break it down. 4,000 hours means that if you have 1,000 subscribers, it means that they have to watch 4 hours, if my math is right. And if you have 500 subscribers, they have to watch 8 hours, and so on. So you need 4,000 hours and then 1,000 subscribers. Then you're eligible for monetization. Then after you monetize, then you have to start, sharing your content. I forgot to mention one thing. People don't like to invest in boosting, but it helps. That's how they get money, these social media platforms. They stifle your content so people don't see it. But when you pay, because that's how they make money. They're making money from adverts. So if you pay to boost stuff, then people see it, right? Did I answer your question? Boosting is when you invest money. You pay to advertise your content for people to find it.
Right. So we will take the questions in multiple so that he doesn't come, go. So we'll take like 5 questions at a go. So you write them down, okay. your responses. So I've done 2 from here. Yes, you come. And let me recognize the fact that quite a number of people have joined us on Zoom. Stoneboy has joined us on Zoom. Astus from GH1 TV has joined us. So as and when they come in, I'll be recognizing. There are quite a number of them.
So my name is Jerry Wonder. I'm a journalist. I work mainly in the entertainment fraternity with shinepublications.com. So my question is to you. You mentioned something about Paygate, which is establishing your own website and having people pay to view content there. I would like you to emphasize a little bit on that, since we are more movie biased.
Thank you very much. Please, can you come down small? Okay, so I must commend Festival of Council for this lesson. From the presentations we have made, if you are an artist or an actor or an actress, and you don't belong to any of the associations who have presented, it means you are doing a disservice to yourself. Because to be a professional, you should belong to a professional association. So I would call on every actor, every musician, belong to the association and pay your dues. When you pay your dues, go to meetings when it is called. That is the only way we can bring change to our welfare. These associations are there for our welfare. Then comes the CMOs. Unfortunately, there was no one for ASOC. That's the film audiovisual CMO. Now, that is where my issue is. We all know that we have a lot of music videos in the country. Unfortunately, when it comes to royalty payment, it looks like the emphasis and the focus is only on movies. And we've tried, and there's an equation they are using to beat us, that until you have over 30 minutes of a music video, like audiovisual, you can't get anything. I really want them to take a look at that, because now every artist, after you do your music, it's the videos that sell it, and we invest in that as well. We push it to sell our music. So if we don't get any royalties when it's used, streamed, and stuff like that, I think it's a disservice. The final thing I want to add is on the monetization. I feel that at this moment, our president or chairman, it's important that as a nation, we look for a platform that can sell Ghanaian audiovisual in terms, especially the movies. Everybody is on Netflix, but if there's a way we as a country can have a particular channel that people can download our stuff, I think our actors and the producers here can make enough money. Thank you.
Okay. Auntie Dana, let me try to answer your question. First of all, ASOC is for audiovisual. The challenge is the musicians wanted to belong to Cameroon and take from ASOC. That is where the issue is. Because if you belong to ASOC, or if you belong to Cameroon and you violate some of the regulation of ASOC, how does ASOC sanction you? So if you really want to benefit from ASOC, you register as a member of ASOC. And secondly, there is a quota system. Mark produces Ifira. He has so many episodes. If we don't take care, all the money that we take will go to Mark. That is why we have introduced the cap.
And what is wrong with that?
You see, yes, an episode of Ifira is 30 minutes. you are telling a full story. But a song is 4 minutes. The person is taking a full story. So if we don't take care, the musician producing music video will get nothing, but you will get everything. That's why we have introduced the cap. Chewa, it is part 1 up to part 12. It is taken as one title. So he takes only one. That is where the musicians think we are being unfair. We want the system to be fair to everybody until we get a proper system that will monitor. Yeah.
I think that if you ask me, I also have similar questions to ask, because yes, and when music videos were not in vogue, we were shooting music videos. They were not as beautiful as today's videos, but it's very heavy. So I remember when I wanted to take some of the royalties from, even a Fiera that today he's using, it was tough, because they said it was a 5-pack thing. They didn't want me to get into the thing. So I had to go and use No. So I had to go and push from Mr. Richard Premper's end, because of he too had taxi driver. So the two of us were the ones who benefited from the royalty. Oh. Okay, because yeah, still not getting. Yeah, but you see, my argument is that some of those movies or the film, the music videos that they see as short, some of them production-wise are more expensive than a full movie. We see, Kwambodi, okay, Ravel.
No, not
Kwambodi. Oh, Kwambodi, Sun City, yeah. Because Michael Jackson, remember the time. Someone can Google and see the cost in the production of that music video. Because you know there's a scene in it that Michael Jackson did a move, and as in the middle of the turn, he became like soil or sand. Yeah. It was a technology that had been introduced, and he used it first. And so because of that, you don't know things are expensive to use. So, and I see some of my Kumasi movies. I see some of my Accra movies. One music video can kill the whole budget of the movie. If you talk to Gio or Ibrahim Mohinijan, he will tell you that some of these young men, their videos are relatively expensive. So I think we must sit again somewhere, not at a table like this, but somewhere that industry connoisseurs can brainstorm, and then we find a midpoint and agree on something. Yes, Richard, you have something to say. So yes, as he comes, let me touch on Peter's, so he can begin to come. Yeah, so okay, come close, please. Okay, all right.
Thank you. My name is Richard Boatin. I'm a member of ASOC. The argument about the visual is something currently we're still debating. So I've had a meeting with the chairman on that before. It is Audiovisual Rights Society. We collect royalties for audiovisual rights. Music video is known to be an advertising material for music, not audiovisual rights or not a film product that is for commercial. Music video to ASOP is an advertising material. Other than that, all advertisers will also bring their advert because it is more expensive to even to shoot some of the advert. If it is based on the amount of money you invested into producing that, then ASOC wouldn't even have it, film producers wouldn't even compete with that. But the law is protecting products that can be copyright. So is the music video a copyright material? Yes, so at the end of the day, the argument has not been settled that music videos have been registered as a copyright material at the Copyright Office. Hence, from there, you have even a document to back your right because somebody may copyright or parrot your product. But most music videos are being given out as advertising products to advertise the music, not to sell the music video for its purpose. Like film as an audiovisual material is produced for commercial purpose. So when you copy it, you infringe on somebody's right. But music video practically is, as an advertising material, it is known to be given out to the public, for the public to know the music and go and buy the music or patronize the brand of that music. So that has been the ASOC stand why music videos cannot be accepted into.
Richard, I think it's an unfortunate stand. No. Because when I was growing up as a little boy, whenever you went to watch a movie, in the heydays, we used to call it comedies. Yeah. And the comedies, or so-called in quote comedies, were music videos. People paid to go and watch movies, and the prelude to the main movie is music. Secondly, in today's era, after a spiky speech or presentation, I didn't expect to hear something like this, because what we sell on YouTube is a music video. All the things he's been talking about, the streaming and whatever, is a music video. So to say that music video is meant for publicity, it's not for money making, it's an unfair statement.
Mark, if I may,
no, money making.
Richard.
The rights.
Richard.
James, I'm coming. The rights. It's about rights protection. Yes. So the adverts, do we protect rights for commercial adverts?
It says the advert you see, that rapper, you know that advert, it is somebody's right. That person who even stood in the ad, bingo, it says he has a right in that ad. The owner of the advertising agency that shot it, the owner who engaged the company to shoot it for, the agency to shoot for him, people have rights even in the advertisement that you have seen from 19 Kojo, wherever. So the fact that anything to do with intellectual property, anything to do with creatives, anytime somebody makes a step put together as a package, there's right in there.
Does people infringe on that right that demands royalties?
Yes.
You see, I've been an ASOC board member before. At nowhere has such an argument raised that music is a commercial piece. Never. Music video.
So what is
No, it is not there. It is not there.
Who said so?
No, what I'm saying is, Richard's argument does not express the opinion of the board, because I've been on the board before. Never, I was there at Grand Hotel, yes, where he raised, the argument was, initially they wanted us to be with Gamro and take the money. And we said, no, register with ASOC so that your works will be with ASOC. Never did we raise that it is a commercial piece. Is it copyrighted? The answer is yes. Is it audiovisual? The answer is yes. So you can't tell me that because I have paid somebody working at a TV station to play my music for me, so because of that, what is due to me, you will not know. The movies that we show on TV, I remember in those days, TV3, if you are coming to release the part 2, you even tip somebody at TV3 to show the part 1. Does it mean that if something is due, you won't take it? No, that is never the stand of ASOC.
Okay, thank you. Yes. And the film people, audiovisuals, maybe Richard has forgotten, at a point in time, they also came into music. They had music videos promoting their Chewa. I think the very first one was Chewa. No. So Christopher and Danfubie, they started that thing with Chewa. The day they were coming to do the deal, I was there, so I remember. Yes. It was a good innovation. I think they did well. So, Peter, I agree with you that furniture and woodwork, for me, it's the same. Frank sometimes argues with me when I say that, the models and what's the name? Beauticians. Rebecca and Kofi from saying. Fashion, model, and then cosmetics, they're different thing. Makeup. They say it's not the same. I say, meanwhile I said I'm not an expert in that area. But they must educate us. I say, no, we are different. So that is why you find some of these things here. They are the ones who come and direct us. Woodwork, I also got to know that we have construction woodwork, and then we have those who do the interior furniture. And I hear there's a line between them. But generally, they all fall under woodwork. Just like architecture. Some people think that, construction is different from architecture. But the truth is that I'm not in a position to tell. We will research. It's good. You've stepped on our toes here. We will research further, and I'm sure next time when we meet, I won't make similar mistakes here. I salute. Thank you.
So you were talking about the pay gates. You wanted to know more about the pay gates. So basically what I was saying is, let's say you release a content. You can actually host it on your own website and have people pay to view it. So you talk to, let's say, a bank or Express Pay, Slide Pay, whomever. They give you what we call an API, which is what you plug into the website. So for someone to get access to that content, they have to pay you. Does that explain? Okay, and then the second was about the monetization platform. Oh yeah, native one. I think, Mark, something is a native monetization platform, a place where people can upload original content from Ghana. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. The minister has engaged, or we have engaged some people. James brought one, and then Bibi brought one. Both of them, in the government space, you don't just do things without people tender, or what's the name? Pitching. Yeah. And so the two people have come. I think we are receiving a third one. Kwesi Ajiman sent me something on that yesterday. We are getting Spiky to also put a solution together for monitoring of music, which Abraham mentioned, so that people, when they are sharing the monies to various artists, it will be based on some data. How many times it was played in a year, which particular radio station, how many minutes, and all. We're also getting someone to give us a solution just for events. The private media houses went to court recently, Geba, and I think they lost the first one, because now moving on, when you're doing an event, just like Frank said, some Stoneboy is monitoring from Zoom, other people are monitoring from other forms of platform. Very soon, when you do an event, you can orchestrate your crowd. The place is full. Just like the West people, they do it. And then you decide to sell to the world. In the business space, there's something called economies of scale, where you target more and you charge less. So instead of charging 100 CDs for Conference International Theater, let's get a platform that I can go watch any type of performance. Even movie launch, premiere, you can put it on. You don't need to come to the hall. If 100, 200 people are in the hall, the rest of the thousands and the millions in the world are watching from homes. Instead of charging them 100 CDs to be at an MTN Music Festival or Vodafone Music Awards, you don't do that. You say, okay, watch from home. We're inviting just the media people and creative people into the hall, and then pay 5 CDs to watch from home. If you are paying 5 CDs to watch from home, it is relatively very cheap. Can you imagine the number of people who can now sit in their homes and watch VGMA or 3 music awards from Germany? Kosovo, every part of the world. That's why I was happy when Spikey said that we should move outside the Ghanaian agenda. We do movies in Kumasi and no subtitle. If they become very nice to us and they say they want to subtitle to Brofonina and Koye, wrong. It tells you that we are not seeing, we don't have a clear vision where we want to go. But there are other Spanish movies and stuff that are subtitled and they are ruling the world. I visited China and they told me one movie that is in the trillions. One movie. So it means that if we do our things well, one movie can change the fortunes of Ghana. Because the kind of figures they mention, and they're saying that they have about 1.3 million population, 18 million, 3 billion, yeah? Yes, billion. And then Pakistan, their next door neighbor, has 200. And then India. India is also close to 1.3, correct. Then you have Russia. So they're telling us that instead of targeting USA as a place that we think they have a huge population, we are wasting our time. We should look at Asia, because they have better numbers. Their cultures too are similar to our culture. They still respect the elderly, unlike the West. That I met the deputy mayor of Hitachi, and when he was giving me his card, complimentary card, he rose and bowed with his 2 hands and gave the card to me. I said, wow. So yeah, that's their culture. And it's similar to what we see here. And we gradually, we're also copying the West. And it's all the failure of movies. Movies where the movies were supposed to have groomed and molded our people, the minds of our people all these years. But it comes back to government. If we still want you to be shooting like that, government must support such movies. It's an agenda that we must set so that the person knows that it's not for commerce. It is to help the country develop in a particular direction. All being said, I think so far so good. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So we have just 10 minutes to be out of here. Let me recognize Salman Moomin, also joined us, actress Salman. And one other person also joined. Okay. So quickly, Mr. Sadiq Abu, please join us. Yeah, we have 10 minutes. And it's very, very, very important because we have very, very good musicians amongst us.
Sadiq is not going to speak.
10 minutes.
He came late. Sadiq is not going to speak. Ethics. Somebody mentioned mindset. Is it Abraham? Sadiq, he sure say your friend say, Ankonko, Enkushia Napo. No presentation to Ministry of Education and come back late. We are all guilty. This is the foundational, this is the fundamental problem. Sadiq, you are me on phone. You are the one who sits on radio and talks about how this industry must move. And then you are supposed to make a presentation. You come, you sit. So we know that our resource person is here with us. Then we can plan with you. In my mind, there's no Sadiq. Frank. And you're asking him to come and do a presentation. Yes, Ken.
I think it's good enough that you're speaking that way, but I also have my reservation.
Let us know.
We have to be lenient with him because we started super late.
That's why I said we are all guilty. I never said he's the only one.
So let's allow him today, and then we have cleared the ground for the future.
Okay, it's good Sadiq knows that Ghana has changed. And so, young corners are moving forward. Sadiq, you are permitted.
So he has just 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes for us to also do the closing remarks. Thank you.
All right, cool. Mark, so sorry for my late coming in. It's also due to the call. Okay. Yes, it's also due to the notice I got. Came in a bit late, but we still had to. But that's still not an excuse to be late. But quickly, also recognizing that the conversation here is also mainly audiovisual. My basis for what I intend to talk about is exactly deals with audiovisual, which is a platform called YouTube. Now, heavily would be also on the basis of a research report done by Billboard in Africa within the last few weeks, just to get you to understand how it works and all of that. Mr. Richard Watson was talking about how music videos are not commercial products. I beg to differ, sorry, sir. They are commercial products. They are making a whole lot of money for musicians across the world, as well as the platforms do pay royalties. I'm certain that if the international reciprocal agreements with Gamro and some of these platforms work, I understand that YouTube and Google, for instance, are paying royalties via Capasso now. So if it works, definitely Ghanaian musicians should be able to track their royalties from these platforms. But quickly, take a look at this. You see that this is the top 15 African artists on YouTube by virtue of the streams that they got. This is a guy from Algeria who got, within the last 1 year, 1.14 billion streams within just 1 year. 1.14 billion streams. Come down to the Algerian guy who got 829.45 million streams. And then you come down to Davido. Now, in Anglophone Africa, I'm sure all of you would think that Davido is one of the biggest artists. And when you count the top 15 African artists in terms of their global views, Davido is the last artist. It says a lot. Now, go back again. Now, when you're looking to the second one, come down to the top 15 sub-Saharan Africa, artists in sub-Saharan Africa. When you take off the North African guys and they come down, again, when you take a look at the top 15 from Burna Boy, who had 435.57 million streams within the last 1 year, which is 1st May 2019 to 1st May 2020, coming down to Joe Boy, a relatively new artist from Nigeria who's got 106.8 million streams within the last 1 year. This is sub-Saharan Africa. Again, you are seeing a particular trend. There is no Ghanaian artist. Come down. Then you look at the top 25 non-African artists in the whole of Africa, within Africa, the streams that they get from here. And then when you come down, there's this Elisa, there's Anasala Nasri, there is Daju, who is Congolese but based in France, there's Ed Sheeran. Again, even the North American artists, they get very less, streams from within Africa, right? Now go, and you see, they are averaging within Africa 225.26 million streams, right? Now go down, let me show you the countries they are from. The first person who got that, she's from Lebanon. There's a Syrian artist. There's a Palestinian artist. There's a Daju, who is Congolese, France. And then you come down to, the United States. I'm having to show you these things because often there's a whole conversation about, oh, the Ghanaian market is very small. The Ghanaian market is very small, particularly when we speak about the people getting it. Again, when I distill this further, you'd realize that even the Nigerian artists who have about 1 million subscribers on YouTube, for instance, are getting 95% of their streams from outside of Nigeria. But again, within Africa. So you see why they are putting in a lot of effort to gain attention here is because they are taking money from here. They are getting streams from here. They are promoting and doing all the things that they are doing. I'm having to show you this just so you understand that there is market here and there is market within Africa. Gone were the days when we say that people are not streaming. It doesn't offer so much and all of that. These people, by virtue of what they are doing, are getting a whole lot of money from the audiovisual content. This is even for the artists. There's another part of it that is for content creators like the Brother Shaggies of the world, those creating all those funny skits and content, and all those people that are in the line of what somebody like Zion Felix is doing, for instance, right? So there are opportunities if we play it well. There's also a way to be able to tap into some of these numbers that exist in Africa and make a whole lot of money. So for instance, there's a guy called Daju, Congolese guy in France. The uniformity of French language helps him to get more streams. But when he needed to get more streams from a certain part of Africa that streams them more, which is a North African space, he did a collaboration with Sokin from Algeria. So automatically opened up the Arabian market for him as well, thereby ensuring that he gets the most streams as well. So if you are a content creator here, I'll use a content creator just so it covers everybody, because I see that there are people creating film content and all of those things here. Just know that there's an opportunity and there's a market for you to make money with your content. There's an opportunity and a market for you to make money from your content. Please, for musicians, you know, some of these brands we've brought into the country. We brought Boomplay. Now we've introduced a new brand called Music Time. Well, Music Time is also partly owned by MTN anyway, but it's in town and it's in market. The whole idea of it is to continue to create spaces and opportunities for you to continue to make more money from your content. But just know that these are but just the platforms. Beyond the marketing opportunities that they would avail for you, you need to recognize that there are certain things that you yourself have to do. You're a musician. Last year, you need to begin to think strategic. If last year you did a permutations and realized that I got 500 million streams or 1,000 streams within last year, you need to be able to look at it and be able to project to say, this year, how many streams do I intend to get across ABCD platform? How do I push it and how do I get a lot more streams? 2 days or 3 days ago, a certain musician released, big artist, released this particular song. I was telling Ricky, nice song, but I told him he was going to waste it. Why? Because whilst it is true that it is good for you to have that fan base, a huge fan base, it's not enough for you to just sleep on it. You drop the song, the fan base will make some noise about it. You trend for 2 days and the streams drops. But when you're looking at these other guys, they are pushing. You'll be, how many of you have been on YouTube and then a pop-up, an advert pop-up of some musician from, say, East Africa, Eddie Kenzo or something, and then you would have to watch it. They are pushing in the necessary, they are applying back. The traditional record label system has changed across the world. The whole idea that a bigger record label will come and give you advance fee is changing. Now, these international record labels, when they even come into Africa, are providing what you call the artist or label services, where they are saying, we've got the connects across the world. By go and record your song, do whatever you do, bring it to us, we'll help you push it across the world. We'll take 20%, 25% of your earnings. That's what they are doing. They're not giving you upfront fees anymore. You know, so you will need to recognize that you owe it to yourself as much as possible to be able to push out. I understand there's a certain limitation regarding content aggregators in the country. So for a lot of people, they don't know who to go to help me to say, help me put my song on YouTube, help me put my song on Boomplay, help me put on the... In the absence of some of these things, there are few ones that are online. I'm sure some people know about the TuneCore, DistroKid. We know about the Ghana Me promo, for instance, in Ghana. But a new one's coming up. But all of these things is there just to guard your thinking for you to understand that there is the market in Africa. Beyond your market, there's a market in Francophone Africa. There's a market in North Africa. So the whole idea of saying, let me go way out of, say, US, Canada to make a certain push, which is fine, you need to understand that there's a bigger market in Africa that can deliver this to you. The other part of it you need to think about is that your market is your primary market and its extension into the diaspora. Initially, we thought that you need to go to US and engage the diaspora market or people there for you to get a hit. No. Rather, they are looking back home and consuming the content here. So you'll be surprised while Famia gets a hit here, he's pushing all the things here, he gets a hit here, it extends into the diaspora and they start to reach out to you. So make sure that you leverage and engage. It is not enough for you to hit and say, oh, yeah, me, I don't need the radio and TV platforms. I don't even need the events for us to make it. I made it on my own. Nobody is able to make it on your own. That's a myth. Let's not be promoting such narratives because it's beginning to make all of these content creators lazy. Because thinking all I need to do is grow a certain loud fan base and that's it. The loud fan base alone will not stream your music. The average music users in the world, their preferences does not lie in one song or one artist. They listen across. So leverage it as much as possible. Do the strategies. Make sure you find all the marketing opportunities you can tap into. If it's playing certain bigger shows to unlock the market for you. If it's partnering with the radio and TV stations, there's a certain disconnect where, I mean, you feel that You don't have to partner with the radio and TV stations anymore because it's digital. Merely by putting the song on your Facebook or on Twitter alone or on your YouTube platform will not deliver the numbers to you. There are activities you need to pursue to be able to do so. Live videos and a whole lot of things. As an example, if you're a gospel artist, you drop the song, you can do a live worship, it pushes it. When you do a live worship, there's a lyric video that you can release again on the same song. You can release a karaoke version of the same song. So what you realize is that within just one particular song, you would have had about 4 or 5 videos sitting down there, or 4 or 5 different content with your song that is sitting on different platforms that can deliver a certain numbers to you. So the whole idea is for you to recognize that the market is there here and within Africa first and foremost, but you need to leverage it and take advantage of it to be able to deliver the much needed numbers to you. These numbers are not just numbers, it is money. And you need to make money from your hard work. Thank you.
Right, so we've come to the end, but let me read. People who are watching on Zoom sent in some questions for the panel within 5 minutes, then we'll wrap up. This is from Mark Darlington. It says, ideally, music videos should be under Gamro instead of ASOG. So he says we should think about it. This is from Astus. He says, music videos are not adverts, please. And he added please to it. This is from Israel Ofori on Zoom. Says, that stand has to be reviewed immediately, Mr. Richard. I think he's referring to Mr. Richard Boateng, the stand that music videos are not commercial tools. And this is from Mark Darlington again. He says, what statement was that? That is not true. He does not even understand what music video is. I'm sorry. Okay. Israel once again says, perhaps the regulation in decades ago when videos were not sold, it may not be the same now. Frankie asked him to change that mindset immediately. Okay, he has changed. This is from Kobe. He says, wow, where is the ASOC people? This is from Mr. Bosompim. Hand is up. Mr. Bosompim's hand has been up on Zoom. Is he still there? Is he still there? Can you? Yeah, GAFTA, Mr. George Bosompim. He wants to make a quick comment so that we can do the closing remarks. Can you put him on now on Zoom? And Sadiq, somebody is asking. Byron says, can we make this kind of millions as we speak today? Where is Sadiq? We can make it. Okay. Is he ready? Can we put him on? Or do I need to bring a cordless mic? Mr. Bosompim, we are ready for you. You want to throw in a comment quickly on Zoom? He's not ready. All right. Madam wants to.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. It's Kwesi Otin in the house. Oh, I was happy last week. I saw on BBC, he joined with some artists to do something international. And so when I saw Ghana, Kwesi Otin, I was so excited. Thank you. You wrote the song. Wow. So we are coming. We are there. I won't say we are coming. We are packed. And when Siddiq's presentation, I saw Hillsong Worship. So it was like, Hillsong, is it an artist? It was like artist name for country. So I Googled, because I work with Hillsong as an entity. You know, we all want solutions. So I have started a music publishing company. And last year, I was amid them. So I call it GH because this is not my vision. I think it's for the whole country. So we have sub-publishers in Caribbean, Canada, UK, Ireland, Asia. When I say Asia, Malaysia, China, all the share countries. And then, of course, the US and then Europe. And I met the CEO for Hillsong. So we had a conversation. And I told him that, look, Hillsong is popular in Ghana too. But then, the percentage of people who speak English, I'm a gospel musician, and I know people appreciate the tree more than like we have the English class, but it's not so much. So after the discussion, it was, okay, they can send, they don't want to compromise, so they can send the root of the song, and then I can get Ghanaian musicians to sing with Ghanaian language on it. And So they said I should bring one sample. And to the glory of God, we did What a Beautiful Name. They've accepted the project. We have actually signed. So any song that is a hill song that is popular in Ghana, we would sing, Ghanaian musicians will sing with a dialect on it. And no, hill song. So from Australia. The old hill song, the old hill song. So any of their songs that we feel is popular in Ghana here, we will get Ghanaian artists to sing with the Ghanaian language on it. And they are doing the distribution. So very soon, we will be part of their, I see they are there. So if we see their statistics, Ghanaian artists will also have their share in it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for permitting me.
Thank you so much, Madam. Yes. Someone. Okay, someone says she hasn't heard anything. What haven't you heard about movies?
Frank.
Okay.
Frank, again. Wow. I said, no, I can't so be. One month more. 1 month.
We started. We started with movies, yeah.
Sadiq, I can trace a route. Northern region. After this, let's meet. Salma and Sadiq, all starting with S. Mamantem.
Okay. So, Mr. Busumpim, is he ready now? No. Okay. It's very also good to note that I saw Sinach, who is a gospel artist. So, Ghana, it is possible. Gospel musicians, we can also make that money. So, let's work hard. Ofaya Sapon. Let's work hard. Right. So, closing remarks from Mark, and then we'll say the closing prayer.
It's been good. I want to appreciate everyone for coming. In the beginning, it looked like people were not going to come. Again, for us, we can't stop. Daddy Bosco was telling me that we can't stop. Okay, accident, you will still drive. So we won't stop doing this, especially when it comes to the President of the Republic, that we should be doing this. After listening to Spikey, Sadiq, you see some people are living in a different world though. We are seeing a Cantamanto, Kofi, MBM, Cantamanto, MBM. The world is moving forward. The factories that are even producing the tapes, so we must conform. But knowledge is what is going to help us get there. Knowledge. Anytime we smell knowledge, let's go for it. Whether it's formal, whether it is informal. And then let's work together. Thank you for coming.
All right. So, folks on online has gone off now. Okay, so we will rise and say the closing prayer. There's going to be a series of master classes. We will be announcing them to your various association heads. And we hope that you would pick those information from them and attend accordingly. Ofaya, the bomb pie money from point.
Hallelujah. A friend me was upon professor of Tree. And Muna Musi Mutras in the Mompai. Nyankopon ya bank say, that was to say, and I open ya bidi in Shimua, it is say. Yenim say, Admachadia, Ikitaye, no, aye, adia, idinkai, world radio, would ya menipa. Say, a quaya will be befaso and any beji, and I will be free now, rehumu. Eye sad much the audio chain. Empire bonus ma an engine more a day. Any encosokas here, not ya sitting in your judo. Ya was ya doing it. Amen.
We have some few snacks, so kindly just pick a pack You can sit down and enjoy it, or if you want to take it away. Thank you very much. Mark. 1, 2, the 3 of them. Film, music, and a mark.